What you're about to hear will sound like a betrayal of every dream you've ever had, that wanting something with all your heart is precisely why it will never be yours. But by the end of this video, this ruthless law of reality will make perfect, chilling sense, and it will almost certainly change your life. Because you'll finally possess the forbidden knowledge that allows you to stop pleading for your desires and start receiving them. As have the few who truly understood this cosmic principle. We have been conditioned into a gospel of lack, a religion of the grind where wanting more, pushing harder, and desiring with every fiber of your being is seen as the ultimate virtue. But this frenzied wanting is a poison. It is an energetic scream into the void that you are incomplete, that you are lacking, and that your happiness is held hostage by some future event. And the universe in its perfect impersonal logic simply agrees with you and keeps you in that state of perpetual wanting. To break free, you must first understand the arena you're in. You are not a warrior on a battlefield fighting a hostile world. You are an artist standing before a mirror, and the reflection is terrifyingly, flawlessly accurate. The core of this principle is what the physicist and mystic Vadim Zeland termed excess potential. Imagine the fabric of reality as a perfectly calm lake. When you assign excessive importance to something, a job, a relationship, a specific outcome, you are creating a violent disturbance on that lake's surface. Your desperation, your fear of failure, your ecstatic attachment to success. All of this creates a localized pressure vortex, an energetic imbalance. Nature, in its eternal quest for equilibrium, cannot abide this. It deploys what Zeland calls balancing forces to neutralize your disturbance. These forces are not a punishment. They are as impersonal as gravity. Their sole function is to restore harmony. So, if you are pathologically terrified of public speaking, the balancing forces will manifest a reality where you are forced to speak in public, and you will likely fail, thus neutralizing your fear through exhaustion. If you idolize a potential partner, placing them on a pedestal as the source of all your happiness, the balancing forces will ensure you discover their most disappointing flaws, bringing your inflated valuation back down to earth. The intense energy of your desire is met with an equal and opposite force of resistance. The ancient Taoist masters understood this principle perfectly. They gave it a name, Wu Wei. It is often translated as non-doing or effortless action, but its true meaning is far more profound. It is the art of acting in harmony with the natural flow of reality, rather than struggling against it. The Tao Te Ching attributed to Lao Tzu advises, "The softest things in the world overcome the hardest things in the world." The modern hustler tries to be the hammer smashing his way to a goal. The Taoist sage becomes like water yielding and flowing, yet ultimately carving canyons through solid rock. Your desperate effort is the hammer striking a granite wall. Dropping importance is becoming the water that seeps into its cracks. So, if reality is a mirror, what is the image it reflects? This is where the work of Carl Jung becomes indispensable. The image is not just your conscious thoughts, it is a projection of your entire psyche, especially your unconscious shadow. The shadow, for Jung, contains all the parts of ourselves we repress and deny. Our neediness, our feelings of inadequacy, our deep-seated belief that we are not enough. These are powerful shadow elements. When we desperately want something, we are really projecting that shadow of lack. We are holding up an image of our own emptiness to the mirror, and the mirror, in its brutal honesty, reflects a reality defined by that very emptiness. You are trapped in a feedback loop of your own psychological making. You feel a lack, so you project an image of wanting. The mirror reflects a reality where the object of your desire is absent. Seeing this absence reinforces your feeling of lack, which intensifies your projection of wanting. And on it goes, a self-perpetuating prison. It is Plato's cave for the 21st century, but the shadows on the wall are cast by the unexamined parts of your own mind. This explains the strange phenomenon of why our worst fears materialize with such ease, while our most cherished dreams remain elusive. When you truly fear something, your heart and your mind are in perfect, terrifying alignment. You don't doubt your fear. You feel it viscerally while your mind projects vivid, detailed scenarios of its manifestation. This creates a crystal-clear, high-energy image for the mirror. But when you desire something, your mind is a battlefield of doubt. Can I really do this? Your heart is a sea of anxiety. What if I fail? And your soul whispers of unworthiness. Do I deserve this? The image you project is blurry, fractured, and contradictory. You are showing the mirror an image of conflict, and so it reflects back a reality of struggle. The escape route from this prison is not to want harder. It is to fundamentally change the nature of your creative act. You must graduate from the impotent state of desire to the sovereign state of intention. Desire is a plea. It is the energy of a beggar, born from a sense of lack. It is conditional, emotional, and weak. Intention is a verdict. It is the energy of a creator born from a sense of choice. It is unconditional, calm, and absolute. To shift from desire to intention, you must perform the master's technique, dropping importance. This is not apathy. It is the most focused, potent form of consciousness you can cultivate. It is the act of surgically removing the emotional charge of desperation from your goal. The philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti spoke of observation without evaluation as the highest form of intelligence. This is the key. You observe your goal, you hold it in your mind, but you refuse to evaluate your entire existence based on its attainment. This brings us to a provocative reinterpretation of Friedrich Nietzsche's will to power. The common interpretation sees it as a brutish drive to dominate the external world. But the true will to power, the power of the Übermensch, is not the will to control others, but the supreme self-mastery required to control oneself. It is the power to look at your most cherished goal and say, if it works out, great. If it doesn't, even better. Not because you don't care, but because your inner state is no longer a slave to external outcomes. This is the ultimate power. When you can genuinely achieve this inner state, the balancing forces have nothing to neutralize. The mirror, now shown an image of calm, self-possessed completion, has no choice but to reflect a reality where the goal manifests effortlessly. You must learn to move through the world with the resolve to have. Imagine you receive a notice that a package is waiting for you at the post office. You don't desperately hope the package is there. You don't anxiously worry that it might have disappeared. You simply go to collect what is already yours. This is the energy with which you must approach your goals. You visualize the end result, the reality where you have it, and you hold that frame. Then you calmly put one foot in front of the other, moving in its direction, knowing that outer intention is already clearing the path and opening the necessary doors. This serene state is constantly under attack by what Zeland calls pendulums. A pendulum is a collective thought form that survives by feeding on your emotional energy. Political outrage, celebrity worship, corporate dogma, and the relentless churn of social media trends are all powerful pendulums. They function by convincing you that their game is of supreme importance. They dangle a problem, an enemy, or an ideal in front of you, and the moment you react with strong emotion, fear, anger, aggravation, guilt, you are hooked. You begin to resonate at their frequency, surrendering your energy, your awareness, and your freedom of choice. The hustle culture pendulum is one of the most destructive. It tells you that rest is for the weak and your value is measured in output. The media outrage pendulum feeds on your indignation, keeping you in a state of agitated powerlessness. The social comparison pendulum on Instagram and TikTok is designed to hook your envy and feelings of inadequacy. They all work by hijacking your sense of importance. To be free is to see the game. It is not to fight the pendulums. Fighting them is just another way of feeding them your energy. The technique is to extinguish them by reacting abnormally. When the world presents you with a provocation designed to elicit anger, meet it with detached amusement. When it presents a scenario designed to induce panic, meet it with deliberate calm. You consciously break the script. The pendulum, receiving no resonant energy, loses its grip. It simply passes through you. So, let us forge this forbidden law into a practical weapon. First, awaken. Several times a day, stop what you are doing. Look around you and say to yourself, I am in a waking dream, and I am the one with the power to direct it. This act of conscious remembrance is the first step out of hypnosis. Second, redefine the image. Make a conscious choice to withdraw your attention from what you lack. Acknowledge the current reality, but do not feed it your emotional energy. Starve the image of the problem and systematically, deliberately, feed the image of the solution. This is not wishful thinking. It is the disciplined work of creating your reality. Third, embody intention. Practice letting go of the words I want and I hope. Replace them with the inner verdict, I choose or I intend to have. Feel the shift in your being from a state of pleading to a state of declaration. And finally, extinguish the pendulums. Become a master of the abnormal reaction. Treat life as a game where your primary goal is to maintain your inner balance. Greet irritation with joy. Greet fear with confidence. This is not about being fake. It is about reclaiming your power and refusing to be a puppet. The universe is not a cruel taskmaster you must appease with struggle and sacrifice. It is a cosmic mirror you must instruct with your serenity and poise. The great lie of our culture is that power lies in the force of your struggle. The forbidden truth is that your ultimate power lies in the sublime art of letting go. Stop wanting, start choosing, and watch as the world stops fighting you and begins to reflect your sovereign will. This is where the theory ends and your life changes. To make this real, you must make it concrete. In the comments below, write down the one belief you are letting go of and the one you are choosing to embody. For example, letting go of hoping for success, choosing to expect it. This is your new contract with yourself. Write it down. Make it official.